What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back to review a new show, actually. It is Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Yes, they finally put some melanin, I mean a lot of melanin, all in one show for a summer house. And let's get right into episode number 1. So we quickly learn a few facts about Martha's Vineyard as far as it being, a very special place considering you can only get there by plane or by boat. And also, one of the girls said that it is 10 times more exclusive than the Hamptons. I never knew that. So the first person that we actually see is Jasmine, and she is actually a screenwriter. And then we see Silas, who I'm going to assume is her partner. He actually is a financial analyst, as well as he's a part of the Army Reserve. So we actually find out that they are married. They are actually newlyweds. They've only been married for about 3 months. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of interesting conversation when it comes to these people. Just because, sometimes when it comes to newlyweds, even though they've dated for a while, they're still getting to learn each other and their habits. So it should be interesting with this couple. I will say I do love seeing the black love. So the next person to arrive is Preston, and he's actually an attorney. I'm like, look at these black people on TV with the success. Now, I have not watched any of the other Summer House, Winter House, any of that, but I really want to compare their jobs to what the black people do. Because y'all notice sometimes black people, we have like top-notch jobs, and then our white counterparts, they be like bartenders. You know what I'm saying? But back to Preston. We actually learned that him and Silas are line brothers. They are both alphas. So the next cast member to show up is actually Bria. There was also a Lacey that showed up, but she's just a caterer. I don't know if she's going to be there all the time. We gonna see. Bria shows up. She's a fashion entrepreneur, and baby girl got a dog in her hands, okay? I feel like the dog may bring on some issues, because first things first, nobody knew that she was even bringing this dog. Secondly, this is her emotional support animal, and we gonna see what goes on with the dog. And I'm just like, where's his vest? Ma'am, where is his vest? Is he actually an emotional support dog, or are you just calling him that? Now, I feel like Preston is going to be funny and shady because he was like, when I think of Bria, I feel like she's basically like a pageant girl that got ready for like 2-3 hours, but she never made it to the pageant. I had to giggle. So now we learn how these girls actually met. So they met because they both worked as like Playboy bunny models. I did not expect that to be how they met, but that's how they met. She also met 2 of her other friends this way because they all worked at the same place, but Jasmine is not that close with Bria. So we quickly learned that Bria is actually dating someone by the name of Simon, and they are living their best life in Germany. Alright, so now we meet Jordan. She is actually a DJ. She's also a model, and her and Jasmine are really close. We actually saw her having a conversation with Shanice, who's going to be on this trip as well, but she ain't going to get here till later. Alright, so now we have more guys arriving to the house. We have Nick. He is a sports brand manager, and he's also a stylist, and I'm just like, I wonder how those 2 things go hand in hand. And then we also meet Alex, who is an advertising creative director, which is really cool. So we learned that Nick and Alex, they were actually line brothers. Also, they are friends through Jasmine, I believe. And we learned they're Kappas. So Nick, he actually surprised me because he said he's not a drinker. And on top of that, he doesn't eat meat either. I guess he's vegan. I don't know why I did not expect that, but he just, surprised me. Now, I will say that he probably is, I would say, the most attractive so far, at least for what I like. Now, when it comes to Alex, though, he goes to go find him a room, and he's like, oh, well, this is probably my room because, the closet is big and I have an extensive wardrobe. Keep in mind, he said extensive. I have no idea how Jasmine was like, how do you know you have the most expensive wardrobe? I'm like, that is two different words, girl. And actually, now that I think back on it, I think I might have just gotten those two guys' names mixed up. Y'all let me know in the comments. Did I mix up Alex and Nick? But y'all know which one I'm talking about that's attractive, and the other one is the stylist. Yeah, whatever. So the next person to arrive is going to be Amir. He is a real estate agent, and he actually got invited on this trip by Nick. So we quickly learn that he is half black, half Lebanese, and growing up, he was raised by the Lebanese side of his family. So now, as he's gotten older, he's gotten more involved with the black side. Alright, so Jordan finally gets there or whatever, and Jasmine, of course, is excited because this is her bestie. Like, this is her girl. And in his confessional, we have Silas basically saying that, Jasmine and Jordan, they're really good friends. They're there for each other. However, Jasmine is a married woman now. AKA, he low-key wants her to drop this friend of hers because she's deemed as the party friend. And I just don't agree with that. I hate this concept of once you get married, you need to drop your single friends. That concept never made any sense to me. Secondly, this girl has probably known Jordan, I don't know how long, but sir, you just got here. So now we learn a little bit more about Jordan and how after college she moved to New York and she actually posed for Playboy. Now, I don't know when Playboy stopped running because she said that she was the first Playmate. No, I'm sorry, not the first. She was the fourth black Playmate of the year. And she's also the last. So, is Playboy not around anymore? Like, I know that, they had the whole documentary about the Playboy Mansion and all that. But, like, when did they officially shut down? Anybody know? But nonetheless, it is clear that Amir is going to have a thing for Jordan because he clearly finds her attractive because she is stunning, okay? And he's not ugly either. Like, he's attractive as well. So the next person to arrive is Mariah. She is actually a nurse as well as a screenwriter. So we learned that her and Jasmine actually met when they were in college. And they have clearly been friends ever since. We jump over to the guys who are shooting pool, trying to figure out what guy is here for what girl. And Amir has clearly called dibs on Jordan. So we see that Preston is peeping game, that clearly there's something going on between Jordan and Amir. And he's like, yeah, I want to see what's going to happen. I said, baby, me too. But here's the thing. He is not the only person that is interested in Jordan. We also learned that Nick is interested in Jordan. But unfortunately, I don't think she's interested in him because she said that she had to restrict him on her social media because she got tired of seeing him send her the heart eye emojis. So yeah, she had to restrict him. I said, ooh, I don't think it's gonna work out for him. Maybe he can find interest in somebody else. So now everybody's gonna eat dinner together, right? Cool. One thing that stood out to me was the fact that Milo was still around. I said, if y'all don't go put that dog wherever he needs to go, put him in his playpen somewhere while y'all go eat. And then Preston was holding the dog. I'm like, Preston, please go wash your hands. Please. Secondly, Bria, if this is supposed to be your emotional support animal, why is he with everybody but you? Yeah, because this is just your regular pet, and you just didn't want to go ahead and pay somebody to watch your dog for these 15 days. Nonetheless, another thing that kind of stood out to me was the fact that the only thing that Alex had to eat was a salad, and I'm just like, Jasmine, I'm rocking with you. I like you so far, but you should have made sure that there was, the chef knew that you had somebody who was vegan there, so that way he had a few more options. Just throwing that out there. So we have the group talking or whatever, and Amir is super excited because he has not been in a space where there's all black people, and this is all new for him because he's never been to Martha's Vineyard. And we also learned that he is able to speak Arabic. I'm like, okay, multilingual. So this man was basically raised in a very white setting. Okay, because his mom, she's Lebanese. Of course, she's only going to know her culture. His dad, MIA. So poor Amir had to walk around with bad haircuts all his life until he turned about 24 years old. He didn't probably know anything about properly moisturizing himself. Poor Amir. But you know what? He feel good about his life now because according to him, there's about 50 to 100 girls sliding in his DMs every day. So, next person to go and talk about, why they're excited to be there is Jasmine. And she's like, she's really putting on for the bougie, okay? Because she's like, I'm just so happy to be here because it's all about community. Every time that we come here, why in her confessional you have the girl Mariah like, oh girl, please, you've only been to Martha's Vineyard twice. I had to laugh because I do hate when people try to make it seem like they doing all of this, but really it's like, girl, it's not like you've been coming to Martha's Vineyard since you was like 12. Cut it out. But nonetheless, we do love seeing you in the space. So she goes on to talk about how, we're celebrating Black excellence. And they actually cheers to that. But baby, here comes Preston because he's like, I do not like the term Black excellence. And the way he articulated the reasons why he did not like the term, I absolutely understood where he was coming from. Because there are many times whenever we say Black excellence, it is when you have Black people who are doing above and beyond exceptionally well. To the extent that it's basically excellence that is mostly attained by white people, and we're finally having a few people reach that level. And what I mean by that is most of the times we talk about people in entertainment, or we talk about people reaching a very high status in life. But like he said, I think that Black excellence will be like my mom who had to like struggle, but at least she survived. You know what I mean? So I completely understand exactly where he's coming from with that. Because let's be honest, if you're going to go ahead and talk about Black excellence, you're only going to be celebrating a chunk of Black people. And you're basically saying the rest of the Black people, I mean, they alright, but they ain't excellent. So now everybody's going to go ahead and hang out or whatever. And we actually see Jasmine talk to Bria. And she's like, oh, so do you have any interest in any of the guys? And she's like, girl, I already had a conversation with you. You know that I have a man. Yes, he's in Germany, but I have a man already. And it's crazy because Jasmine thinks that it's basically weird that she has a man in a different country. And I'm just like, but why is that so strange? There's a such thing as a long distance relationship. Or actually on top of that, she now lives with this man in Germany. What's the problem? Like, I'm not understanding why she said that it was aggressive for her to go across the pond to be with her partner. So everybody, they decide that they're going to go to the hot tub or whatever. One thing that was strange to me was how many women had on like one-piece bathing suits. Just because I am so used to seeing, women who, number one, have not had children, women who are, bodies are great. Usually they are wearing some type of two-piece. But I feel like these ladies probably wore one pieces because they're around all these guys. I get it. I absolutely understand. It just was crazy because I feel like you hardly see women just wear like a one-piece bathing suit. It's usually always a bikini. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, they were hanging out, and then they decided they were going to play a game. Oh, but actually, before I even get there, Bria, if you don't go put that dog away, I need for you and the dog to go stay in the house then. Because he don't need to be at the jacuzzi. Please, go somewhere with that. Now, back to the game. So they play a game of drink, dare, or tell the truth, or something like that. And the first thing was for Amir to kiss somebody that he found attractive. Of course, he goes for Jordan. I believe he kisses her hand or whatever. Next thing you know, they ask Alex the same question what does he do? Go up to Jordan, kiss her on the cheek. And I'm just like, okay, but there's also other women here. Well, I don't know if Mariah's single or not because they never said, but she's here. Secondly, I think I really like Jordan. I think I'm having a lot of respect for her because when she was at her confessional, she's like, okay, like, I get it. Like, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, but, like, ask them a question so that way they can get to know me. Like, why are we doing, like, these childish, oh, give this person a kiss. Like, okay, what else is going on? So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna like her. So next, they actually challenge Mariah to go give Nick a lap dance. No, Alex a lap dance. Man, she got up there. She barely shook anything. She definitely did not shake a tail feather. And she hopped her behind right back into that jacuzzi. I was like, what was that, girl? Loosen up. Have a good time. But you know what? Maybe she's not that type of person. She got to get to know people first. Because if I'm not mistaken, she does not know a lot of the people here. Child, and then they had the audacity to challenge Alex to sing. I said, oh no. Like, it's not even that he was horrible, but baby, this was not it. Now, y'all, come to find out, though, his cousin is actually John Legend. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. John ain't the greatest singer either, but we gonna rock it out. So next thing you know, it's a frog in the water. So everybody gets out and they finally decide to go to bed. Now let's go ahead and talk about the next day. So now we actually learn a little bit more about Silas. He actually is still working while they are on this vacation. He works remotely. He is, I think, like, he does something with finance. And when he's not working on that, he also has to go serve his time in the army. So baby boy is always busy, clearly. But he says that he works this hard because he does come from a family of immigrants who came from Liberia. Alright, so basically everybody else is trying to get their morning routine started. And we also see that Jasmine and Mariah, they're going to, go off to the side and start writing because, like I said, they were screenwriters. So they're going to create like a little space for themselves to, start writing. And Mariah tells us how, she got a call from Jasmine. It was like, oh, girl, come to New York, it'll be great. She was like, yeah, I did not know that she was actually being evicted at that time. And then Jasmine continues the story and lets us know that they actually lived out of Mariah's car for like 4 to 5 months. Like, that's crazy to me. So because that situation was so crazy, they actually decided to write a show about it. I don't know, maybe I should look it up, see if it's like a web series. Maybe it'll be on YouTube or something. Not really sure. So like I said, these ladies were going to set up a room so they can start writing. But one thing that has irked Jasmine is the fact that there's dog hair on the couch, right? And I'm just like, okay, you already know that this person has a dog. It doesn't matter, honestly, if the dog was on the couch or not. Dog hair gets wherever it's going, okay? Dog hair gets everywhere. I do think that she should have definitely let them know that she's going to bring a dog, or at least be like, is it okay for me to bring a dog? Because like I said, everybody may not care for dogs, or there could have been somebody on this trip who's allergic to dogs. But here's the thing, the dog is already here, so let's go ahead and make it work. Jasmine, she actually tells Bria like, hey, like, your dog is shedding everywhere, and she's like, I can't do anything about that. Now, here's the thing. The dog is absolutely going to shed. That is true. But I will say that she could have at least been like, oh, you know what? I can come and, try to like wipe down the couches or get a vacuum cleaner. Something to try to help the situation. So now Jasmine, she feeling some type of way. And I'm just like, girl, just relax. Like, you're not allergic to the dog hair. Calm down, please. Because let's not make this into be, like a big argument and a fight when it doesn't have to be. Because she's sitting there with Mariah and she's like, we can't even have a meeting without there being dog hair everywhere. And it's like, girl, calm down, bring it down a few notches. how about y'all talk about your concepts and ideas and not worry about this dog here? Or are you trying to avoid actually working? Because let's not forget that Mariah came to you for y'all to set up this space. So I'm not sure if you thought you was just going vacation the whole time or if y'all was actually going to work. So you already know that Mariah seems like a no-nonsense type person. So she calls Bria over once she heard that Bria just showed up with her dog. So in the meeting, you have Jasmine complaining about how, this girl has this dog and how I think she said Alex couldn't even do his yoga properly or whatever because there's dog poop everywhere. And the girl's like, where was the dog poop? There's literally footage of her picking up dog poop. So it's just say you don't like her and you don't like her dog and you want them to leave, girl. So Bria ain't feeling this conversation, and honestly, I can't even knock her in this situation. Because it seems like Jasmine is putting on because they're at Martha's Vineyard and they're on TV. Because not only did Mariah, kind of question her when she was saying oh, we've been coming to Martha's Vineyard for all these years. Now you have her acting real bougie about a dog. I don't know. Because at this point, Jasmine, she feels disrespected. Now, I will say, Bria should have told her about the dog. But like she said, this is her emotional support animal. The thing is, when it comes to these dogs who are supposed to be either an emotional support animal or if they are supposed to be any type of service dog, you're not really supposed to question why they are there. Or why somebody even has a dog that's a service animal. So at this point, this conversation is going nowhere. Preston has joined the room, but again, Bria, now she done shut it down to where she's not even talking to Jasmine because she feels some type of way. And I'm just like, this is going nowhere. Like I said, Preston, he even chimes in and he has a point that, she just wanted a heads up. But that's the thing. We know that she wanted the heads up, but she's not saying that. That's the crazy part. Jasmine is not saying out of her mouth, you know what, I would have really respected it if you would have let me know that you have a service animal. She has never said that to this girl. So next thing you know, Bria, she walks off. So then we have, Bria going to other people in the house, do y'all have a problem with my dog being here? Because she's saying that, there's all these issues with the dog. And they're like, no, we ain't got no problem. We ain't even heard your dog bark. He good. So she's stressed out about it. She's over it. She walks away. And then in her confessional, we have Jordan talking about how, there's something going on with their relationship. But she thinks that it's more so something going on with Jasmine's perspective of the friendship. So again, Bria is going around the house asking everybody if they got a problem with the dog. You have Jasmine over there mocking her. I'm just like, well, this is interesting. So next thing you know, we have Mariah. She's having a phone conversation with her mom. We learn that she's actually a mom. She has a son who is so adorable. I think she said his name was Miliano. And while she's on this trip, he is being raised by her mom as well as his dad. Now, I don't think she said that they were together. So maybe she is actually single as well. So then we see Bria. She is calling her boyfriend Simon, who is, in Germany, and she's letting him know about what has been going on in the house, considering now Jasmine has this issue. And her boyfriend basically says, there's always going to be people who are trying to bring you down, but you good. So, she also brought up the fact that Jasmine tried to be like, oh, are you interested in any other guys? And she felt like that disrespected her relationship. So there definitely needs to be a conversation had between Jasmine and Bria, because I can definitely see this being the type of situation where things keep getting added on, and then there being a big blow up. All right, so now we have Jordan. She's talking to Nick and, oh my God, what is his name? The other light-skinned guy. Amir. That's it, Amir. And they talk about her dating life. And she's like, it's been, pretty hard for her to date because number one, she's picky. And also, since she did Playboy, she questions if these guys are actually interested in her or if they're just interested in her because she did Playboy. So she also tells him that she has been celibate for a year. And in this moment, we clearly see who may be a possible match for her and who ain't. Because you have Nick saying, oh, that's a beautiful journey because he's done it himself, to work on himself, self-reflection. And then you have Amir who's like, oh, I can never go a year. Oh, no. I'm just like, yeah, you're not the right guy. So now we see Bria is laying on the couch, right? She got her body in some type of contraption that Alex has set up for her. And next thing you know, Preston is sitting down in the kitchen area, and Jasmine walks up. And of course, who is she talking about? Bria. So Jasmine is saying how she felt like the whole thing with Bria was super difficult and that at some point they're going to have to talk this out. Now, what's crazy is that Bria chimed in and was like, well, I'm right here because I feel like, me personally, I probably would have let her keep talking for a little bit just so I can hear how she really feel. Because, people, they don't ever say how they really feel to your face, but they'll say it to their friend behind your back. So, yeah, I probably would let her keep talking. But it was kind of weird how Jasmine reacted because now that she saw that Bria was there, she's like, oh, what are you doing? Therapy? Oh, I got next. And it's like, girl, stop being weird. So now we got to open up this conversation. And again, Jasmine is not saying how she feels. She goes on to tell Bria about how, it took a lot to try to curate a group of people to come on this trip. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? So then in her confessional, she's like, I'm triggered. I'm a wife now. But, sometimes I still go back to the person I was when I was living out of a car. And Bria, she's pushing my buttons. And I'm like, but what exactly is she doing? Because it seems like her entire existence is what's bothering you. Like, is it because she's doing the things that you used to do? Or that you wanted for your life? Like, I'm trying to understand, Jasmine. Because honestly, it's not making sense. But nonetheless, that was pretty much the conversation. I feel like it got nowhere. And now the group is going to have dinner together. Now, one thing that I actually thought was interesting was the fact that Mariah, she got stuck in the car with all the guys because Silas and Jasmine, they wanted to ride together. And I was like, okay, I know y'all a couple and everything, but y'all really could have, rode in separate cars. Just so that, if the girls wanted to have girl talk and the guys wanted to talk, it wouldn't be awkward. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So first thing that I noticed about them going to dinner was the fact that Amir, he definitely wants Jordan. For real. Because she was minding her own business. He asked her what she wanted to order or whatever. And next thing you know, he's like, are you cold? And she's like, yeah, I'm a little bit chilly. Oh, what does he do? Take his jacket off, give it to her. I said, oh, okay. He definitely about to pour it on thick. So he goes on to try to have a little bit more small talk with her or whatever. And next thing you know, you have Jasmine piping up. And she's like, so is there anyone attracted to anybody else here? Because, we're all attractive people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, girl. First of all, the amount of men here outweighs the amount of women who are actually available. Because Bria ain't available. Your other friend, she ain't even here yet. I'm not sure if Mariah is with her child's father or even if she's single or not. And then when it comes to, who else is there? Bria got a man. Jordan, she's single, but I don't even know if her man is here. Like, what are we doing? So now Jasmine has come up with another thing for them to talk about, and that is, oh, where are you from and what are you working on? I'm just like, girl, you gonna have to come up with something else. Because you want to have organic, natural conversations. And I'm not sure if these prompts that you're giving out is what we really want to hear. And baby, her bestie said the same exact thing that I just said, because it's strange. Like, let these people just talk and get to know each other on their own terms. Stop trying to control everything that's happening. So Mariah, she ends up asking, has Bria and Jasmine talked? And they're like, yeah, we talked, like things should be cool, whatever. So then Jasmine goes on to talk about how the girls actually, have their friendship because they all worked at the same club. And she also says that, she considers Jordan to be like her sister cousin because they are so close. So, baby, this is with Silas. He decides to pipe up because he says that, there will be times when he would call Jasmine while he was in training. Because keep in mind, he decided to join the army late in life, okay? He decided to join the army after his 30s. Nonetheless, while he was in training, I guess he would call Jasmine and she would be out with Jordan. Because they were young women at the time going out to the club having a good time. So what was funny to me is that Jordan was like, what was I taking her away from? Like, if your man ain't at home and it's a Friday, Saturday night, we want to go have a good time, what's the problem with us going out and you're having a good time? And the thing is, Silas is like, well, you guys were out at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, yeah, because we're in New York and the clubs close at like 4 a.m. Like, I'm not sure what you're expecting from them. Like, did you want her to be home at 10 p.m. so that way she could be waiting at home for you to make a phone call to her? Like, make that make sense. Alex, he's a smart man because he's like, listen, these girls have been friends way before you came into the picture. Like, why would you make this be the issue of all the things that can be an issue? One thing that I can figure out about Jasmine and Silas is that they like to make issues out of nothing. They really do. So Jordan has the question, like, so does your girl have a curfew or something? Because what's the problem here? And you see both of them like, no, there's no curfew. If there's no curfew, what is the problem with her going out and being out in the club or out in the city, whatever, till 3 o'clock in the morning if she ain't got one? So then this man decides to bring up the fact that at some point these ladies receive free drinks from somebody. And I'm just like, find something better to do, please, Silas. It seems like he's very controlling. I'm just going to throw that out there. And Jordan, she's like, dude, if we go to a certain party and it's open bar, yeah, those are free drinks. Like, honestly, this conversation is not going anywhere, but you can clearly see that everybody at the table sees that Silas is tripping and they're on Jordan's side because they're not understanding, why are you tripping over them getting free drinks and why are you tripping about them staying out till 3 o'clock in the morning when you know that is how the nightlife is in New York. Now, in her confessional, she says, which I'm referring to Jasmine, she says that, her and her husband, they're one, and she's going to stick beside him. And I'm like, okay, so are you okay and willing to lose friendships that you have had longer than the amount of time that you have been with this man? Because that sounds like that's what you're going to be on the verge of if he keeps interfering with your friendships. Because one thing about this whole situation is that most of these people who are here are actually friends of Jasmine, number one. And I'm just like, I would not be surprised if he started making her drop her friends. And number two, like Jordan said, I did not have shackles on this woman saying that she has to stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning. That was her personal choice. So why are you sitting up here blaming me for your wife deciding to stay out late? So, you have Preston coming through again, and he's speaking facts of the fact that, most men, especially straight men, they want to be he-men, they want to be the heroes, and they always want to control situations. And yes, this may have been rooted in love as far as you want to be a protector or whatever, but let's not negate the fact that she decided that she wanted to go out with her homegirl. So then Jordan has to, let Silas know, listen, I don't have a partner. I'm a single woman. And at the same time, I am always aware of my surroundings. And what you're not going to do is sit up here and act like I'm just some wild party girl who's just trying to live it up and doesn't know when to come home and all this stuff. Like, don't try to paint me out to be that type of person, because that's not who I am. And you can honestly tell that this definitely rubbed her the wrong way. And honestly, she has a right to feel exactly how she feels, because Silas kind of came at her wrong. She's not the issue. Your wife is who you need to have a conversation with. You need to have a conversation with Jasmine and say, I don't want you going out and staying out till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. That is between you and your wife. Jordan has nothing to do with that, baby boy. So get it together. Y'all, that was pretty much the episode. I think I'm really going to like this season. Please let them get a season 2, because you know how proud I'll be doing. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.